Hi, welcome back to Convince Me Audio. And to those of you who are new to the channel, I'm Koji CEO. A very warm welcome to you too. Today's review is on the latest addition to the Meze Audio family, the Meze Audio 109 Pro. A dynamic headphone, open back, under $1,000. Let's discuss. A very special thank you goes out to Meze Audio for sending this unit in for review, included the upgrade cable. It's very much appreciated. So let's take a look, shall we? This unit will cost you $800 or thereabouts, $799. Check down below for the latest of pricing. It comes in this elegant, quite stiff cardboard box. It's actually really well designed. Feel very premium. I'm liking this a lot. It looks very nice. A magnetic flap with foam on the top so that it doesn't damage the headphones, and then we have this hard shell case for the headphones themselves. Book that describes the materials, driver type, and obviously all the info here, so we can put that there. And nothing else in the box, so we can yeet this off the desk over. Yeah, thank you very much. Nice booklet. Useful, lovely, okay, never gonna see it again. This is the headphones themselves, but let's actually look at this additional cable that they've sent to us. This is their premium cable line. Comes in this leatherette pouch, very nice, and this is the cable. This is terminating in a 4.4 balanced. Oh my goodness, look at this. This cable was actually turned into bracelets that they were giving out at CanJam. These ones to be particular in CanJam London. Really nice touch, I think, when people are visiting the Meze Audio booth. But be that as it may, now this one got back. Yeah. The cable does not keep its shape. It's very nicely designed. Look at this braid. It's freaking beautiful. These connections are obviously 3.5 and they're very narrow. In the same manner as the 99 Classics from yonks ago, it looks like the actual connections are very narrow, which means if you are going to get third-party cables, you've got to be a little bit careful. Let's have a look at the headphones themselves. I mean, this case is very rugged. You can throw this in a backpack and it's not going to damage the headphones at all in the slightest. Reveal towards you as always. Nice velvet pouch inside. Very nice velvet interior, so it doesn't damage the headphones. And ooh, these are the headphones, and there's more cables and things. So let's have a look at that as well. Throw that over here. Place the headphones gently over here for now, and let us investigate. So this is the case itself. Yeet that across the desk. Inside this leatherette pouch, we get two cables that are really spooled. Oh, blimey. And a 3.5 to a 6.3 jack, which is fine. You don't need that. Lovely. This is the 3-meter one. These cables are pretty good. They don't keep their shape really once they sort of get to room temperature. They're sort of rubbery material. They sound pretty decent. I've been using it with a Lyric on a regular basis, and they're alright. But due to this one being rolled up so tightly like this within that little pouch, you can see that it's going to take a little while for the spooling to actually come out of the cable, the kinks, you know? Because on a regular basis, I've been using their flagship cable, this one. It's just more convenient, it's balanced. As we discussed the sources and stuff we used, it was far more convenient for me than those rubber ones. Now, this is the headphones themselves. Very much reminiscent of the 99 Classics, but the 99 Classics that have grown up. This feels so premium and so luxurious, honestly. Starting from the top of the headphones and working our way downwards, the materials that have been used in these headphones are walnut, protein leather, velour pads, and manganese steel for the construction. The cups are suspended on this gimbal-like construction akin to the P9 signatures and some of the other headphones, because the way this will contour to the shape of your head is far more conducive to a better experience. Because of the angle of the cups, it's not specifically set to a certain parameter, it will contour to any shaped head. This spring steel tiara-like headband is much bigger than the 99 Classics, therefore giving a far better distribution on the head. And the head strap is on this spring material, so it can actually contort itself to the shape of your head without having to need to click on the side of the head with the obviously adjustment mechanism. Lovely. These headphones are so ridiculous, it's absolutely insane. Meze Audio are known for their comfortable headphones, from the Empyrean to the Elite to the Lyrique, but they outdo themselves every single time. For me, the most comfortable headphone on the planet up to now was a battle between Empyrean and Sesvara's, and I'm sorry, but this takes the cake. This has been the most comfortable experience I've had. It's February, obviously, in the UK right now, and it's very cold. So these velour pads have been very, very nice around the ears. I don't know how it will feel around a 30°C summertime, obviously, but for now, absolutely luxurious. They breathe very, very well. And these beautiful spiral sort of spider webs covers the drivers, but the drivers are utterly open on both sides, completely open back. They leak sound, so this is not an outdoor headphone, obviously. These beautiful cups are constructed of walnut, and they're quite proud to say that from trees that have already passed on. They don't use new trees, obviously, for the construction of the headphones, and I love that. It gives the wood a little more time to shine, and I think we came across that with the 99 Classics as well. I love this. Every part of the headphone can be repaired, replaced, so these headphones are definitely designed for longevity. You will not be throwing these away after a couple of years. They come with 2 years warranty as well, so it's fantastic. But I can't overstate enough how comfortable these headphones are. I don't normally keep headphones on, including Sesvara's, for more than an hour and a half, and I clocked in 4 hours yesterday, which was unbelievable because it was just easier leaving the headphones on than taking them off, doing something and coming back to them. No, I just went, nah, fine. I just unplugged it and left them on, like nice ear mufflers. They're lovely, and with the addition of this premium cable, the length is wonderful. I think this one might be 1.20 meters. For portable use case 4.4, it has been absolutely outstanding. And obviously the equipment behind us, as you can see, all pretty much have 4.4 as well, so you can go from one to the other without having the need to change for cables. Be that as it may, beautiful construction, fantastic materials, ultra luxury feeling. Is it the most luxurious feeling headphone under $1,000 I've come across? It's definitely up there. It might even beat a lot, to be honest with you, but the comfort beats even $4,000 headphones. This is insane. The only competition to this might be the Empyrean and Elite, and I think they might be less comfortable due to the size of those headphones. This one is smaller than those. I cannot overstate enough how comfortable these are. Underneath the cups, we have a pair of 3.5 connection sockets. Obviously, these are a little bit recessed and they're quite narrow, like I stated, like here, as you can see. So be careful. Even if you don't buy these flagship cables or you want to use other cables, they are a bit narrow. My previous cables from Viking Weave did not work because the Furrytech connections are quite big. So I was basically not constricted, because this cable is absolutely superb to those cables. Beryllium coated polymer and cellulose carbon fiber is used for the materials of the dome and the surround for the drivers themselves. It's a dual composite design. This driver is actually made in-house. It's 22 microns thick and it's ultra quick, ultra resolving, and quite surprising, to be honest with you. The impedance on this headphone is 40 ohms and we have 112 dB sensitivity, so they are very, very easy to drive. Driving them nicely, we will get onto that in the sound section. The frequency response of the headphones is 5 Hz all the way up to 30 kHz, so a very, very wide band. Specifications, comfort and design out of the way, which are all absolutely superb, top-notch and quite astoundingly nicely designed. Well done, Meze Audio. So far, so good. Let's discuss what source we have used with this headphone. I have used the Zahl HM1 back there, the Cord TT2, the Holo Audio Bliss, the May as the DAC, the Cord TT2 as the DAC. And for portable sources, a bunch of them over there, we have the Luxury and Precision P6 Pro, the Diablo from IFI, Chord's Hugo 2, Chord's Mojo 2, and Q-Style's M15. So quite a range of equipment. Oh yeah, and the Serene as well. As for tubes, the Euphoria and the Canon HA6A. Press the subscribe button, press the like button if you want reviews for all those hard-hitting equipment. So you don't miss it actually. So, I've not been sparse in regards to sources for this headphone. I've not been stingy. I have put it on the best the industry has to offer so that we can see where this headphone goes. With that, let's discuss the sound. I would say these headphones are actually neutral bright with a touch of emphasis in the mid-bass region. So this might be categorized as V-shaped, but it genuinely is not a V-shaped headphone. It's just got good extension up top in the treble region and a little elevation in the mid-bass to give it that nice punch for EDM, etc. They're rather exciting, rather revealing, very detailed. For a dynamic headphone under $1,000, these are exceptional. In fact, you can stop the video right here. These headphones are absolutely superb. There are a couple of caveats, so some of you might find those a little not to your liking, but the majority of you, I'm sure, would be so happy with these headphones. Using genres like EDM, rock, classical, jazz, pop, they work across a wide variety of music, which is fantastic, but they do have the technical capability to showcase badly mastered tracks. This usually congregates around the upper mid-range and lower treble. So pop songs, 1 out of 4, you find it gets a bit sibilant and a bit harsh. Not unlistenable, not unenjoyable, but enough to tell you that no, this song wasn't mastered very well. But when the actual track is mastered well, these might be my favorite headphones under $1,000 now. I think these might be the gold standard for under $1,000 now, due to the comfort, the sound, and the performance. These are absolutely outstanding. And as a daily driver in the office or at home, remember they're open back, so they leak sound everywhere. These are not the sort of headphones you take on the bus. You might take them to the park with you, but please be careful because these days in the UK, parks are not the nice places they used to be. They will give you a fantastic performance. Before we break down the frequency response, let's talk about how it fared on some of these hard-hitting equipment. First and foremost, let's talk the Zahl HM1. On this amplifier, using the Cord TT2 as the DAC, they're punchy, they're dynamic, and they retrieve detail extraordinarily well. Using Hans Zimmer's Pirates of the Caribbean, the stage was spacious, separation is excellent in the Meze way. Their imaging is like that unique melody messed sort of sound where it really does separate ultra well, more than a lot of other headphones do in much higher categories from other companies. It's exceptional. Detail retrieval was excellent, but the tonal balance was a little bright. It's a little bit forward in that upper mid-range and treble. When using Class A servo on the HM1, you got so much adjustability on that amp. I can't wait to share the review with you guys. You can boost the bass by a couple of dB. You can reduce the treble to your liking, and you get a lush, punchy, incredible presentation. What if you don't want to use EQ? Even analog EQ like that one? Well, the presentation is Honestly, I was wandering around thinking who this headphone would be incredible for. I can honestly say, the way it showcases DACs and amplifiers, this headphone could be used for equipment testing. In fact, I tested it with the HM1 until my Sesvaras went for a wander and I got a pair of Sesvaras back. Thank you, Grant. I appreciate it very much. And Jez, you too, mate, for the HM1. A little overly detailed, ultra high resolution, and my goodness, the driver control on the HM1 is just absolutely insane. But not quite there for me. Where was it there for me? It was on two separate systems. One of them being the Luxury and Precision P6 Pro with this cable, the balanced one. And this cable actually sounds a little bit more detailed. I know some of you don't believe in cables. They do make a difference, very subtly, but they really do. Be that as it may, take your pick. Versus the stock cable, this one is a little bit brighter, a tiny bit, and a little bit more detailed and a little bit more punchy. It's a little bit more of a smoother experience with the stock cables than that one. Using this cable today for the first time, actually, before the review, I found that separation was not as nice as this one. You don't have to buy this one, it's just a very subtle variation, but on the P6 Pro on the go, I prefer this cable. Be that as it may. The Luxury and Precision P6 Pro is one of the best portable sources I have ever used or come across, including at CanJam, where I tested the Kian N8 II, the Gold Touch from Low2. It is absolutely freaking superb. It's fantastic. On tubes, using the HM1 as pre, using the Euphoria, and using the stage knob on the HM1 was nothing short of insanity. Definitely an alternate to the Bliss and May soundscape. It's huge, it's spacious, it's smooth, it's well articulated, and most importantly, it's euphoric. These headphones are a equipment testing dream if you're not reaching into the super flagships of $4,000 of Sesvara, etc. $6,000 for those, but you know what I mean. Honestly, it showcases what equipment you have so well. It's amazing. It's the best one I've had under $1,000, where it's really felt as though I wasn't missing much from my equipment. You got a wide stage. Textural information retrieval is fantastic. And it's really funny how this headphone changes with equipment to equipment, sounds different on every source, and showcases what the equipment is actually demonstrating. That's very rare under $1,000. I think for a lot of people who have a lot of separate equipment and DACs and amps, etc., this might be the go-to now. I was testing it with the HM1 and it did not showcase anything less up to about 95% than what Sesvara showed me on the HM1's performance, genuinely, and that was a bit of a shocker. I wasn't surprised by anything going from this to Sesvara's, apart from the subtle variation in the treble region, etc., in regards to detailed retrieval on that amp and the speed, but the majority of the performance I got from the HM1 using the 109 Pro showcased to me what that source was doing. Back to the P6P. You get a darker sound signature more in the background. It's a smoother ride in the upper mid-range and in the treble region, and it's open, spacious, very, very airy up there, and non-fatiguing. I found it a little bit fatiguing on the HM1, but my favorite source of all was the Holo stack back there. The Holo Audio Bliss, the Holo Audio May KTE. That presents a grandiose soundstage, a grandiose presentation. Textural information is more in your face, and yet the spaced out imaging is much wider, much taller, much deeper, much bigger separation between each element of the sound. I told you, This has become my daily driver since it landed for review. Not because I was reviewing it, but because I really didn't feel as though I was missing overly too much, you know? It's a lovely experience due to the comfort as well. Comfort plays a big role and it sounds absolutely fantastic. I think I prefer Meze Audio genuinely going this route of tuning. They were a little brave with the lyric. I find it absolutely fantastic. I bought it, sold it and purchased it again because I could not live without it. And this tuning is even better than lyrics and it's a win. It comes out swinging. It's absolutely fantastic. So let's break down the frequency response. Okay, sub-bass extension digs low, textural, quite quick and very dynamic. Mid-bass rises a little in the frequency response where you get a little bit more punch and it adds a little touch of warmth, a little touch of body thickness, but it's so subtle that it doesn't deviate too much from the linear frequency response if we're looking at a graph. The upper bass region is a little bit more recessed than I would like, I think, but very, very little. But we're talking about 1 dB at the absolute most. For the variety of genres, it's absolutely no problem. But there have been occasionally where orchestral music has come across a little tiny bit thin, not too much, just a tiny bit. And with the combination of that extension in the treble region, which we will talk about, it felt a bit forced. Not too much, but a little bit forced. Most of the time you don't come across this experience because music tends to be mixed in the lower register of the mid-bass, which with a combination of the sub-bass gives it a massive amount of heft and weight, and it's absolutely fantastic. Genuinely surprising for a dynamic headphone of this category. Neodymium magnets are used in this one and they're very, very light, so no weird vibrations or anything in regards to resonances as well. I forgot to mention that previously, but yeah, it's pretty good in regards to resonances. There's no build-up. The cups do isolate a little bit from your surroundings, so they are completely open, but the velour pads do give a little bit more seal than a lot of headphones might of this caliber. Mid-range is very, very linear. It's very transparent, very well textured and articulated, especially for electric guitars, electroacoustic guitars, the mid-range part of a violin and cello and saxophone. It's never really fatiguing or harsh. There are certain parts of the frequency response in lyric where it comes a little too forward and it feels a bit breathy around the 3 kHz mark, but this doesn't have that problem in the slightest. This is lean, open, linear, and just absolutely fantastic. In the treble region, like we mentioned, there is a rise, and this rise is in the, I would say, above 11K region, maybe a little bit higher, where it does provide airiness and openness without being non-fatiguing. But I find a little spike around 6 kHz as well, around that region, where the just there and below the ear gain region and around the ear gain region, it's a little bit too forward for me personally. For certain genres of music, like I mentioned, pop, especially when they're badly mastered, I actually do feel it. But as a rule, you don't find this being a problem whatsoever. Treble region is very well articulated. You actually get good, fantastic detail, especially on the Bliss and on the May. Very well presented, and it's not overly forced. Timbral information is, again, a solid win. It's fantastic, especially in the upper mid-range all the way down. The treble region, it's a hit and miss due to that little spike occasionally, but it's not always. But from the mid-range downwards, it's absolutely fantastic timbre-wise. I never felt as though this headphone sounded fake in the slightest. I can't say any more good things about this headphone, genuinely. It's beginning to sound a little like an ad, but genuinely, I absolutely love this headphone, and I think it's a win, and it could take the crown for under $1,000 this year. I have no hesitation in saying that. This thing is superb. Are these a headphone worth your money under $1,000? Build quality, comfort and sound? Yes. For that, in every category, I give 5 solid tigers. Sound, I give this one 4 solid tigers because of that tiny elevation in the treble region where some people might be a little bit sensitive if they exclusively listen to, for example, badly mastered metal or pop, where they might have a little problem, but source does make a big difference. Like I mentioned with a P6 Pro, with the Bliss, I'm pretty sure if you're picking one of these up, even if you have those, or even if you have just something like a Mojo 2, use the DSP correction. 20 kilohertz, bring it down by 1 dB. Absolutely no problem. And it gets driven by anything. 40 ohms, 112 dB sensitivity. This can be driven by air. This is fantastic. Thank you for coming along this journey with me. A special thank you goes out to Meze Audio. Again, this unit will be going to the next reviewer, and my time is ended with it, and it's very, very sad. So I might reach out and actually buy one of these as a daily driver for myself. I'm honestly considering it. I love this thing. It's too comfortable not to use on a regular basis when I'm around the house doing stuff. Without it being cumbersome, without worrying about power requirements and stuff. It just works on anything. On the M15, it sounds fantastic. On the Mojo 2, it sounds fantastic. On the Hugo 2, it sounds punchy, dynamic, incredible. Using that warm filter really smooths out that beautiful treble region. And we're back to the sound again. Honestly, I can't stop smiling. This thing is fantastic. I'm Koji CEO. I'll see you in the next one. Peace. And if you do like reviews like this, consider joining Patreon, where you get early reviews before anyone else. You get to jump into the Telegram chat, talk to me about equipment that have just come in and that are not going to see the light of day on YouTube for weeks at a time, where we go through the review process and learn together what it can do on all the sources you see behind me. Take care.